what are your general thoughts on screen time and stigma around screen time?
Stigma. Can you describe, like, elaborate on, like, what do you mean by the stigma? Like having a high screen time?
Yeah.
Mm. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have any strong opinions. I feel like my screen time is pretty high.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, well, I guess any addicted person would say that. I don't think it's an addiction. I'm not like scrolling TikTok or Instagram for hours on end every day just to be entertained. I think I like, for the most part, use my phone pretty like functionally, like communication, or for me, like posting on TikTok or something. But all I know is that it is scary, like the amount of time, if you add up like computer screen time and phone screen time, like it is just a little scary how much time I do spend looking at the screen.
I guess the reason I bring it up is because I used to keep like a little widget on my phone that showed my screen time.
Oh my God. I have it projected huge. Like every time I open my phone, I know what it is.
And I used to like try to get like, I don't know, I would try to like get really, really like low screen times because I was like, it made me feel better about my productivity. And I began to associate, as I feel many people do, with low screen time with like being a more present, happy, less anxious person. And I even just watched a TED Talk that was talking about, dude, it was like a scary graphic. I posted it to my story. You might have saw it, where it was like, you spend this many hours in school, you spend this many hours sleeping, you spend this many hours eating, and then it was like, this is your free time in life. And then it overlaid the graphic with like, this is how much of your free time is screen time. And it was like 90% of your free time.
Oh my God.
And it was like, it was very daunting. But I guess the reason I bring it up is because I feel like it's like screen time has become almost this enemy of people who want to like be present. And recently I've had like a revelation, which is that as we said with our followers, like not all followers are created equally. Not all screen time is created equally. And it's like, there was a time where screen time really did make me more anxious, and it really did, like I felt like affect me. And it's because my screen time was it was primarily consumption. So it's like consuming a lot more than creating. Two, it was purposeless. It's how can I see what's going on in other people's lives, but I don't really care. This is just what I've been trained to do. Like go on Instagram, see and then just like just purely for entertainment. I don't think any of those things are inherently wrong, but now my screen time, so I went on like a bender of like low screen time. And then I started learning all this stuff about personal branding. And I was like, well, I can't like utilize personal branding if I'm not having a higher screen time. But the way I approached Instagram was now different. Now a majority of my screen time comes from talking on my story. It comes from analyzing and like having takeaways from other people's content. It comes from researching podcasts. It's like my screen time's higher than it's ever been, but I feel that I have the best relationship with my phone and social media that I've ever had. And I guess it's because it's like my screen time supports my mission. And it's funny because when I look at I never once thought about computer screen time, because for me, computer screen time was work. That's something I feel good about. It's my work. But iPhone screen time was always waste of time.
Yeah, interesting.
And now I'm like having to retrain myself and be like, I'm a creator.
Yeah.
It is okay for me to call my phone time my work time, but you have to be really disciplined to actually like do that and mean it. And that's just, I guess that's what I wanted your opinion on, because it is it's a very taboo thing.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it can be easy to just say like all screen time is bad, but I think you're right. It is not created equal, and like using it intentionally. I think the reason why I don't have too bad of a relationship with it is because I did a lot of my work on my phone.
Yeah.
Right. Like I do consider my TikTok and stuff like that. I don't consider it now as like full on just work, but I do consider it productive. So yeah, I'd say like it's not, I don't know. It's more like what you're using that screen time for.
Well, to me, you could almost compare it to AI, which is like everyone wants to talk about, is AI good or bad,
Mhm.
or is it more good or more bad? And there's certainly some really scary aspects of AI. But my opinion, as with everything else, is that it's a tool, and you can use a tool to. If I have a hammer, I can use a hammer to build a house, or I can hit my neighbor with it.
Mhm.
It's like, what are you gonna? Okay, it's like, what are you gonna do? And that's like, I really feel the same way about Instagram and TikTok. I literally, since TikTok has been downloaded, I've probably posted over, I don't know, like 300 TikTok videos through different accounts. My daily like scroll time on TikTok, non-existent. I never scroll TikTok. I don't care about it at all. And so that's like a good indicator to me that it's like the reason I'm spending so much time on Instagram is because that's where like I can create the best. Whereas like I used to be on Snapchat because it was like the thing in high school. I don't ever go on Snapchat. I don't ever go on
Yeah.
TikTok. And it's, I also heard someone once say like, you are happier when you create more than you consume. And I used to, and I started thinking about that quote after, and I literally like, I do like a daily guided journal, and the days where like I create more than I consume. And I don't know if there's like, it's not that day I spent 2 hours creating and I spent 1 hour on my phone. It's not like that. It's just like when your intentions are to create more than your intentions are to consume, I feel so much, just so much happier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I relate to that.
Since we are on a time crunch, and sorry, dude, I must apologize to you because I just ranted this whole episode.
No, all of your thoughts are really interesting. Like,
Yeah,
these are all things that I've like kind of thought about, but haven't like.
that's good. I mean, if you're saying they're interesting, then hopefully they're valuable in some way. And it is interesting too, like going back to like, I feel like I have to be the sole wealth person, but it's totally fine to have an entire episode about personal brand.
Yeah, breaking the mold.
Yeah, I just think it's like, I just want to be like me, and if I find something interesting, then I'll share it. But that message is always there, and